Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Burma Nation. It's time to get back into our lessons. We're talking about 12.1 today. 12.1 is something called Design a Survey, so we need to talk about the different aspects of a survey that make it either a good survey, a bad survey, or the different ways that we can go about conducting that specific survey. So we have a lot of vocabulary words that you're going to want to write down someplace so that you will know what we're talking about when we answer these questions. So a sample. It's a portion of the larger group called the population. So the entire group is the population. That little chunk in the population is called the sample. A data collection techniques. There's three different ways that we can collect data in our designing of a survey. We have a survey, which is just us collecting data from a sample of the people. Observational study, which we are just going to observe. And then an experiment where we actually conduct an experiment. So those things seem pretty self-explanatory with what the words are, and hopefully they make sense to you. All right, we'll get on to our next one here. Our first example says that each day a department store chain selects one male and one female shopper randomly from each of its 57 stores and asks them survey questions about their shopping habits. Our job is to identify the sample and determine the population. So the sample is the people that they're going to talk to. So that means each day, and they're going to talk about one male and one female shopper from the 57 stores. So that's 57 males, and that's 57 females each day from their 57 stores. Now the population, so that's our sample, the population is all of the people who shop at those stores, because those are the possible people who could get selected. So the population is all of the people who have a chance, and then the sample is who was actually selected. So all shoppers at the store, at the 57 stores, to be specific. Now, what type of data collection method was used? Well, did we use an experiment? Was there an observation? Was there a survey? And then the easiest answer there, folks, is this is a survey. They randomly grab people and they ask them questions. So it's a survey. They didn't watch them. They didn't conduct any experiment with them. They just asked them questions. Okay, so that's a fairly easy response, right? Wonderful. Let's move on. Now, there are certain things that make things biased. Hopefully you've heard of this word biased before. It's a type of a sample that favors one group over another. And then a random sample would be a sample where the members have an equal opportunity or equal probability of being chosen. So if a biased sample favors one group, unbiased does not favor. So we got to understand the difference between what makes something biased or something unbiased. All right, let's move on. The student council decides to conduct a survey in one classroom for a spring theme of their dance. And they go to one classroom. Now that is very biased because they only went to one room. In a room of Lake Middle School size, we have what, like 60 rooms? And then you only talk to 1/60th of the people in the building. That's probably not going to be a very good sampling of the entire population. So that's biased due to the fact that it's a tiny, tiny chunk. Now, part B here, the PTA surveys the parents of every 5th student. So every 5th is a pretty random way to get people. So that would be an unbiased. I mean, we're not looking at just specific people of a group. We're looking at just every 5th person. So that's a very random way of going about it. Is you're going to find an unbiased situation there. Because we only chose this certain class, that's totally a biased idea. Now here's again a bunch of new words for us, random samples. So these are the types of random samples that we could have. A simple random sample is that everyone is equally likely to be chosen. A stratified random sample is when the population is divided into smaller groups that aren't overlapping, and then a random sample is then selected from each one of those groups. That'd be like if we're talking about all people in the B pod. What is our B pods for a survey? And then we only took the guys from Berman's room, the guys from Miss Johnson's room, the guys from separate rooms. So we've divided them into rooms, and then we select only random people from those specific rooms. So that would be a stratified system. Now a systematic would be if we're going to split things up into a certain interval. So the exact words here, a sample in which the items are selected according to a specific time or item interval. That would be kind of like our previous example where we had like every 5th or maybe every 5 minutes. So a specific set of how we're choosing our person. So that's a systematic way of doing things. All right, so here's example number 3. A neighborhood is divided into 3 blocks. Then 3 residents are selected from each block for a survey on hours of operation for the community pool. So the sample is going to be the 3 residents from each block, because those are the people who are selected. 3 residents from each block. Now the population would be the entire neighborhood. So this is my sample. So the entire neighborhood was the entire population. So that's what the people who had the chance to be selected. Now, because they split up this neighborhood into 3 blocks and then chose from each of the 3 blocks, this would be a stratified, because we divided our population and then we chose from those divisions. So this is a stratified random sampling for us. Now folks, this is kind of what we're doing with the 12-1. We will be doing a project, as you are well aware of, with this information. It's your job now to complete the 12-1 worksheet. In fact, we have a packet of worksheets for you, and hopefully I'll be out having a child during this time, so hopefully you guys can keep up with this information. If you have any questions, please email me. I should be able to respond and help you guys out as much as possible. Alright, this is Berman Nation signing off.